Have you ever looked at someone who caused unimaginable pain and wondered what happens to their soul after death? What becomes of the ones who took innocent lives, destroyed families, or carried darkness into the hearts of others? Do they simply vanish? Do they escape judgment because they died? Or is there something more, something unseen, waiting for them beyond the final breath? This is not just a casual question. It is a heavy, aching wonder that lives in the hearts of people across all cultures, all ages, and all walks of life. It whispers in our thoughts when we see tragedy, when we hear about cruelty, when we're faced with human evil that seems to go unpunished. It presses against our spirit when we witness suffering that appears unfair and feel helpless to change it. For generations, this question has stirred the hearts of the broken, the grieving, the searching. From ancient times until now, humans have tried to understand what happens after we die, not just for ourselves, but especially for those who brought darkness to others. We need to believe that their actions mattered, that what they did will be seen, felt, and answered for, even if not in this world. Because if there is no justice beyond this life, what does that say about the meaning of all we go through here? This isn't just about punishment. It's about truth. It's about needing to know that the universe, somehow, still works in harmony even when life seems unfair. That pain isn't wasted. That no act of cruelty disappears into silence. We ask these questions not from curiosity, but from a deep longing for meaning, for order, for something higher than chaos. Few people have ever tried to answer this question in full, but Edgar Cayce was one of them. He was not a preacher, not a philosopher, not a scientist in a lab. He was a gentle, humble man from Kentucky, someone who never claimed greatness, but who quietly opened a door into something extraordinary. When he was young, an accident changed his life forever. Afterward, Cayce discovered that when he went into a deep sleep-like trance, he could access something no one else could, a kind of spiritual knowledge that flowed through him like a river. He began to give readings for people, readings that offered physical healing, emotional understanding, and most remarkably, insight into the soul. For over 40 years, Cayce lay down, crossed his hands, slipped into trance, and spoke words he would not remember when he awoke. His wife asked the questions. His secretary wrote down every word. People came to him from all over the world, not just for answers about their health or purpose in life, but to ask the questions no one else dared to ask. What happens to a soul after it dies? What becomes of those who caused great harm? What Cayce revealed was not what people expected. He didn't describe a heaven and hell filled with fire or golden gates. He didn't speak of punishment in the way religions often do. Instead, he described something more mysterious and far more just. He said that every soul has a kind of spiritual memory written into something called the Akashic Records. Imagine an invisible library, one that holds every thought, every choice, every emotion of every soul that has ever lived. Nothing is lost. Nothing is hidden. When a soul leaves the physical body, it returns to the place that matches its inner vibration. It moves not according to rules written by man, but by a natural law of energy, like attracts like. In the world beyond this one, Cayce said, there are many spiritual realms, each one like a different classroom where the soul learns and evolves. These aren't physical places, but levels of consciousness, connected to the energies of the planets. Mercury teaches the mind. Venus teaches love. Mars teaches courage. Each realm offers lessons, growth, and spiritual development. But when a soul has lived in cruelty, when it chose hate, control, or destruction over love and truth, it cannot rise easily. It is pulled toward denser realms, places filled with confusion, fear, and the energy that mirrors its own. There is no outside punishment. There is only a reflection. A soul who lived in fear finds itself surrounded by fear. A soul who lived in anger feels anger all around. It is not sent there. It goes there because that is what it became. And in these places, other souls with similar vibrations gather, not out of choice, but out of spiritual law. Darkness gathers with darkness. This is not eternal damnation. It is the natural result of a life's energy, drawn to where it belongs. But even here, in the lowest realms, help still exists. Cayce described beings of light, spiritual guides, who wait quietly near the edges, never forcing, never judging, always ready to help when the soul becomes willing to grow. The moment of death is different for every soul, Cayce said. For most people, it feels like falling asleep and waking up somewhere else. But for those who lived in violence, the death moment is chaotic. Their negative emotions create an energy storm. The soul may feel pulled, lost, trapped. There is confusion, fear, and a deep sense of being ripped away from everything they once controlled. Then comes the most painful part, the life review. For peaceful souls, it is a gentle remembering. But for the ones who caused suffering, it is more than memory. It is full experience. The soul not only sees what it did, it feels everything it caused. Every scream, every heartbreak, every moment of fear they inflicted is now felt from the victim's point of view. There is no escape. There is no hiding. Every act, every ripple of pain that spread outward, comes crashing back like waves. The soul feels not just one person's pain, but the extended suffering that came from it. Families hurt, communities broken, futures changed. Some souls deny what they see. They cannot accept the truth. Others fall into deep despair. They see what they've done and believe they are beyond redemption. Some grow angry at themselves, at others, at life itself. The weight of their actions feels unbearable. Their energy becomes so dissonant that they can't connect with other souls, can't feel light, can't hear the guides who wait for them. They drift in isolation, surrounded by the emotional world they created. There are even souls who don't accept that they've died. Death, to them, means losing all control, and they can't let that go. These souls remain close to earth, hovering near the places they once ruled, the people they once manipulated. But they can no longer interact with the world in the way they used to. They watch life through a fog, desperate to hold on, but powerless to touch what they once controlled. Some build illusions. In their minds, they are still alive. They still have power. They may live in these fantasies for decades or centuries of Earth time. They may haunt the locations where they committed their worst acts, not out of longing, but because their energy is still stuck to the places where they caused harm. But even here, in their most lost and broken state, there is still hope. Cayce said that no soul is ever completely cut off. The universe does not abandon its children. When a soul shows even the smallest desire to change, the guides step forward. They offer light, healing, and the slow journey back to understanding. The lower realms are not prisons. They are schools. Painful, yes, but full of opportunities for growth. Spiritual justice, Cayce taught, is not about revenge or punishment. It is about restoration. It is about truth. It is about the soul coming to understand what it became, what it did, and how to grow from it. Nothing is ignored. Nothing is forgotten. But everything can be transformed. So what happens to the souls of those who cause great harm? They face themselves. They feel every consequence. They walk through their own storm, but they are not thrown away. The door to healing is never closed. This is the deeper law of the universe, that even the darkest soul has a path back to the light. That truth is faced, pain is felt, but redemption is always possible. The universe is not ruled by fear. It is held together by mercy, growth, and love that refuses to give up on anyone, not even the worst among us. And that, perhaps, is the greatest justice of all. Some places in the world carry invisible pain, pain so deep and intense that it stays in the energy of the land, the walls, and the air itself. These places become heavy with trauma and sorrow. People who walk into them may feel a sudden sense of dread or sadness for no obvious reason. They might feel anxious, depressed, or confused without knowing why. That's because these places can hold onto the energy of souls who are trapped, souls who have not moved on, who are still caught in the pain, fear, or guilt of their past lives. These souls return again and again to the same places where they experienced their deepest emotions or made their most devastating mistakes. They may not even know they're dead. Instead, they stay locked in the energy of what they did or what was done to them. Their minds run in circles, repeating the same thoughts, the same regrets, the same fears. It's like being stuck in a dream that you can't wake up from. Time doesn't feel normal to them. It stretches, repeats, and folds in on itself. What might be seconds to us can feel like years for them. When beings of light, those who come with love, healing, and truth, try to help, these souls often react with fear or even aggression. They're so confused and frightened that even kindness feels dangerous. They resist the light, not because they're evil, but because they don't trust it. It's like someone who is drowning and flailing so wildly that they fight the person trying to save them. They don't know who to trust. They feel completely out of control. They see love as a threat because love asks them to face the truth. And they've been running from that truth for so long that they've forgotten what it even is. Have you ever been somewhere that felt dark or strange, even if nothing seemed wrong? That uneasy feeling is sometimes a sign of spiritual disturbance. According to Edgar Cayce, when souls are trapped in deep emotional states, their energy doesn't just affect them, it affects the space around them. The pain they carry, the guilt, the anger, the confusion, it spills out into the environment. It creates a kind of spiritual atmosphere that others can feel. It's not a haunting in the way movies show. It's not about ghosts jumping out or objects moving on their own. It's more like the emotional energy of those souls bleeding through into our reality. And people who are emotionally open or spiritually sensitive pick up on it. Over time, the energy builds. People may notice that certain places feel heavy. They may feel more easily irritated or tired when they're there. They may have nightmares or even feel like they're being watched. It's not their imagination. It's the residue of souls who haven't yet found their way to peace. These trapped souls don't mean harm, but they are in pain. And their pain can affect the living in subtle, powerful ways. The longer a soul stays in this state, the deeper the confusion becomes. Their energy becomes denser. Their mind becomes more chaotic. They lose more and more of their identity. Some forget who they were, where they lived, or even why they feel the way they do. All that remains are the strongest emotions, the fear, the rage, the sorrow. It's like a person who's forgotten their name, but still remembers their heartbreak. This condition, Cayce said, is like spiritual amnesia. These souls live only through their feelings. They no longer think clearly. They just repeat. But even these lost souls are not beyond help. One of the most powerful ways healing happens is through the presence of love. Sometimes, a soul who passed on earlier, perhaps a mother, father, child, or sibling who found peace, comes back to help. These loved ones are sometimes allowed to gently visit the lost soul and guide them back toward the light. It's not easy. The lost soul often resists, but the presence of someone familiar, someone they love deeply, can break through their confusion. It may take many visits, many quiet moments, and great patience. But love has a way of reaching even the most closed-off heart. Often, it is the vision of a peaceful loved one, smiling, glowing, at peace, that cracks open the wall around the soul's heart. That tiny moment of recognition is everything. It's when they stop running and finally whisper, "What's happening to me?" That moment of openness, no matter how small, allows help to come. True spiritual healing begins there. And for the first time in a long time, the soul begins to move. What comes next is not easy. It is a kind of spiritual awakening, and it can be deeply painful. These souls don't go to a place of fire and punishment. They go to a place that reflects their inner world. Cayce explained that the lower spiritual planes are not filled with monsters or demons. There are no burning pits or chains. Instead, these planes are shaped by the soul's own energy. If a soul lived in hatred, they now live in a world shaped by that hate. If a soul lived in fear, they now walk through landscapes filled with fear. It's like their thoughts and emotions have become the sky, the earth, the air around them. There is no escape, no phone to distract them, no screen to hide behind, only the raw presence of what they've carried inside. Everything they ran from in life is now all around them. And that is why this place feels like darkness, not because God has turned away, but because the soul has. It's like being in bright sunlight with your eyes squeezed shut. The light is still there, but you've blocked it out. That's what the lower planes are, a reflection of a soul that has shut its eyes to the light. Some souls stay there for a very long time. To us, it may seem like decades or centuries, but to them, time is different. They may feel like they are stuck in a single painful moment that never ends, or they may relive the same event again and again, as if it's happening for the first time. Cayce said that this experience is not meant to destroy the soul, it's meant to wake it up. The soul is being asked to truly feel, to face what it never faced before, to feel what it once made others feel. This process is intense. It is emotional, physical, and spiritual. These souls often describe the feeling as being heavy, slow, and confused. Moving takes effort. Thinking clearly feels impossible. But it's all part of the healing. The soul is being shown, little by little, what it became and why. It's being given the chance to understand, not through lectures, but through direct experience. This is how transformation begins. Over time, as the soul breaks down its defenses and excuses, something beautiful starts to grow: empathy. For some souls, this is the first time they've ever truly felt it. During their life, they may have thought empathy was weakness. They may have hurt others without caring. But now, they feel the pain they caused, not just as a memory, but as emotion, as sensation, as sorrow in their own heart. They feel the weight of every word, every action, every decision. And this is the moment where everything begins to change. The soul no longer tries to hide from the truth. It no longer blames others or avoids responsibility. It simply feels. It breaks open. It mourns. It learns. And then, slowly, it heals. Different souls go through different lessons. A murderer learns the sacredness of life. A person who caused fear learns what it means to feel helpless. A soul who spread cruelty learns how deep pain can truly go. But this is not revenge. It's not torture. It is education. It is deep, emotional learning that no book or teacher could ever give. The soul is being made new from the inside out. As this process continues, the soul becomes lighter. Its energy shifts. It begins to rise. And one day, it is ready to move on. It is ready for higher spiritual planes, places of peace, truth, and love. And when it returns to earth again, it chooses its life carefully, not to pay back in pain, but to love in a way it never did before. This is karma, not punishment, but balance. A soul that once caused suffering may choose to protect life. A soul that once broke families may now choose to heal them. Sometimes, the soul chooses to be born into a family it once harmed, not to suffer, but to bring love where there was once pain. Cayce said this happens often. The deeper the harm caused in a past life, the greater the chance the soul will now become a source of healing. Even before a soul reincarnates, it can affect the world. Trapped souls can disturb the energy in certain areas. Violence, confusion, or strange emotional shifts in certain places may be signs that something deeper is going on. But we are not helpless. We protect ourselves spiritually by choosing love. When we keep our thoughts kind, when we practice gratitude, when we open our hearts to compassion, we raise our vibration. And a high vibration keeps us safe from lower energies. And here is the final, most powerful truth from Edgar Cayce's teachings. No one is lost forever, not even the worst soul. There is no such thing as eternal punishment. There is no such thing as a soul that can't be healed. There is no mistake so great that it cannot be undone through love and transformation. The universe is not built on revenge. It is built on return, on bringing every single soul, eventually, back to the light. We are not asked to excuse evil. We are asked to see through it. to see the lost soul behind the crime, to understand that beneath every cruel act is a spirit so broken, so confused, so far from love, that it forgot what it means to be human. And if we can see that, it changes how we view justice, forgiveness, and ourselves. Because in truth, we are all capable of light and darkness. We all carry both. And sometimes, it takes only a few wrong turns to get lost. This is why compassion matters, not just for others, but for ourselves. We must choose, again and again, to turn toward love, toward light, toward healing. Because in the end, Cayce's message is this: no matter how far a soul falls, no matter how long it wanders, love will find it, light will reach it, and one day, that soul will remember who it really is. One day, it will find its way home.